Commodity prices around the world are absolutely spiking. This is insane. It's not something that we've seen since the financial recession of 2020. Now, of course, if we first start with wheat, we haven't seen wheat prices this high ever. What we're watching is that wheat futures have hit an all-time high, surpassing the prior high from 2008, according to Charlie Belillo. Prices have now increased 75% since the start of the year. Russia is the world's largest exporter of wheat, and Ukraine is the fifth largest exporter of the same commodity. But it's not just wheat that we're looking at. If we go ahead and we take a look at nickel, nickel is exploding as well. It's literally trading like a shitcoin. The London Metal Exchange has halted trading in nickel because it went up 250%, and it left brokers struggling to pay margin calls. Many of the top producers can't meet those margin calls, and so there's a lot of instability and chaos going on in the nickel market right now. That isn't exactly a normal chart in any asset in financial markets. And then, of course, if we go and we take a look at oil, oil is the #1 commodity to pay attention to right now. Russia is the third largest producer of oil. They're the 17th percent of all natural gas produced in the world. And those Russian prices continue to rocket upwards as the United States is now thinking about banning all imports of Russian crude. And so, of course, whether we are talking about wheat or oil or nickel, commodity prices are correlating towards one. Prices are exploding upwards, and people around the world are wondering, what is the impact of all of this? But if we go back and we look at history, history is a guide. It doesn't necessarily repeat always, but as a guide, we can see a recession could be near. Sven Henrik pointing out that the last time wheat prices were this high, the global financial crisis ensued. And of course, if we look at something like oil, Chamath Palihapitiya recently stated that when oil prices spike 50% or more every single time in the last 30 to 40 years, a recession has ensued. He then went on to tweet this, where he said, history repeats itself. In 2018, the Fed was concerned about inflation. They were wrong, and within a quarter or so, the risk shifted to recession. This chart shows how the equity markets reacted, and it seems eerily similar. Now, of course, nobody has a crystal ball. Nobody knows what is going to happen. But what we do know is that commodity prices are exploding upwards, and a recession is looming. The Federal Reserve is in a lose-lose situation. Do nothing, and inflation will continue to ravage hundreds of millions of people around the world. Act and raise interest rates, and you're likely to accelerate us moving into a recessionary period. Lose-lose. Tails you lose, heads you lose. Inflation or recession, you pick your poison. We're not in a good situation. These commodity prices are a huge warning sign. I don't envy being somebody sitting at the Federal Reserve having to make these decisions, but what you at home need to do is understand what's happening and how you can protect yourself. Hey you, did you like this video? Great, we make 5 of them a day and post them here on this channel. Make sure you're subscribed, like the video, and see you next time.